Well, good morning and welcome to the Church360 Unite training webinar on users, mailings, and directories. My name is Andrew Osborne and I'm a content specialist here at Concordia Technology Solutions. You have my contact information up there on the screen. Anytime you have any questions about the software or there's things that just don't make sense to you, feel free to send me an email or give me a call and I can point you in the right direction with those sort of things. A few housekeeping items before we get started. The presentation will be about 25 minutes. We'll have time at the end for questions and answers. You can ask questions throughout the presentation, although I won't be answering them until the end of the presentation. That way I can get through all of the things we need to get through today. We have quite a bit to get through. And then the recording will be shared after the presentation, so you can get on our YouTube channel and find this recording and share it with members of your church, or go back and rewatch if you need to learn how to do something again. Here's the outline for today. We'll be talking about the users and the different types of those. We'll be talking about mailings and how to use mailing lists. We'll be talking about the directory and how to sort through that and how that works. And then we'll get to questions and answers at the end. May not seem like a lot, but there's a lot in each of those that we have to get to. So let's jump right in and get started. So I'm going to switch over here. I'm at the home screen here, and I'm logged in as an administrator. There's lots of different types of users, and we're going to talk about those first. So we'll click up here on users, and you'll see there's two tabs here. There's users and mailing lists. We'll get to this one in a little bit, but we're going to start here with users. So depending on the plan you have with Church360 Unite, you'll have a limited number of administrators, and these are people that have access to everything within the software. So all of these tabs up here, they're able to access them and make changes to them. And administrators are the only ones that have access to the mailing list here. But we'll get into that, like I said, in a little bit. But regardless of your plan, you'll have an unlimited number of regular users that have a variety of different roles. You'll see that we have a database here of people, and these are all fictional. It's a fictional database that we use for training purposes. But many of them aren't users, and that's because we haven't gone through and created them email addresses for most of them. So right now they're marked as none, but you can change all of these very easily to the different types of users, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. You can add additional people to this list really easily. You do that by clicking on this Add People button. You can type their first name, last name, and email, or you can download the CSV template and import it into a program like Excel. You can type a list of people's names and information in, and then batch add them in. So it's a quick way to import a lot of different people at once. Like I said, there's a variety of different types of users. There's the administrators, and you can see the different user types and roles by sorting from this role column. You'll see there's administrators. These are people that have access to everything, like I said, and they're able to access the mailing lists. We have designers. These people can change the theme and the setup of your website, as well as add content. They're not, however, able to change the settings here. And they can't access the users tab, so they can't see this giant list of people or the mailing lists. But they are the ones who would set up your theme when you start your new website. You'd want to get them started right away. If you just add them in so that they're able to get the website looking how you want it to and running the way you want it to before you get too far into it. So they're the ones that design the theme and make everything look pretty. Every Church360 Unite plan has at least 2 administrators. I want to mention that. Some of them have more, but they all at least have 2 people that can access everything. So you can make one of your designers an administrator so they're able to access all of this different stuff as well. If you don't want an administrator, you can always go back and change who your administrators are. If there's someone you need with administrator capabilities for the first little bit, but then you want to take them off, you can always do that. You can change who your administrators are. If there are people that you've invited, but for some reason they didn't get the email to sign up for their role, you can resend it by clicking this button here, and you'll see that we've sent these fake people roles that we would like them to have on our website, but they haven't responded, so we could resend it, and that would go to them saying, hey, you've been invited to join Church360 Unite. This is a role we'd like to give you. They just need to click in that email and sign in, and then they could begin working on the website. Another role we have, you'll see there's all these nones, but if we get down here to the bottom, we also have publishers. Publishers are able to access pages, posts, and activities. So these three up here, they can't affect the users, so they can't see this list or the mailing list. They can't do anything with the theme. They're not able to change the way the website looks, and they're not able to get into the settings and change all the behind-the-scenes sort of stuff. And lastly, we have regular users. Excuse me. And these are people that can manage content, but that's only within a certain group that you assign them to. So they won't have access to edit all of the pages, only particular pages that you add them to as organizers of that group. So users are your typical church members, people that log in to your website to be able to see the church member database, and I'll show you that in a little bit here. And you can set, you would probably set most people to users. You're able to change the roles of multiple people at once. So like if I wanted to set Emily, Michael, and Robin, and Stacy as users, I could click all of their names here, and I could change their roles. It'll say that they don't have email addresses, so if I wanted to send to them, I'd have to type in an email address for both of them. But you could change their role to user here and just hit update, and it would send them an invitation asking them to become users. So you'll see they're now users. And that's pretty much the basics for users. You can check any of these and set them for listed or unlisted if you don't want to show all their information, or you can delete them here. So next, let's talk about mailing lists. This is also under users. Here's the tab for mailing lists, so we'll click there. Like I said, this is only accessed by administrators, and that's because unfortunately people could take advantage of this if they're not as trustworthy. They could get in here and send emails to everyone in your church. So you want to make sure that the person who you have as an administrator is someone that you trust, one, because they could ruin your website, but also they have access to everyone's information and can email all of them at once. So typically if you're trusted to run the website, you'd be trusted to email people. So when you first come in mailing list, you'll see that there's this tab here for everyone. And this is the only default list. This is everyone in your congregation that has their email address in there. And you can also create more mailing lists by clicking up here. But first I want to show you what it looks like when you email a list. So we would click on this box next to everyone. We'd go down here under Actions for selected mailing lists and click Email. And it will pull up your default email client. I use Outlook, so it pulls it up in there. And you'll see it just pops in there, everyone. Now if you click on this, you'll see that it's this strange bunch of numbers. And those are, it's called a GUID, a globally unique identifier, and it sends an individual email to each person on your list. It's a feature we have called an email relay, and so when you send an email, it first comes to our servers, and then we redistribute it using this relay, and that's to help keep your emails from looking like spam, because if you just send out a ton of mass emails all the time, it'll look like you're just spamming people. And a lot of different email clients use this, like MailChimp uses this, and different ones like that. But ours is integrated into the software. It's the biggest difference. So I'll discard that. So now let's create a mailing list. So I'm going to create one called Web Admins. So you type it in there and hit Create Mailing List, and now you'll see it pops down on the list. But right now, there's no one in there. Where it says all users here next to everyone, next to web admins, there's nothing. So we would click there, and you can change the name again, or you could click in here and start adding people. So I'm going to add myself. I'm going to click again, and I'll add Rob Calloway. He's an admin, I'll say. But you could also go down, and there's different groups down here that are on your website. Let me show you where those are. So under ministries here, we have these different groups. And these are different pages that you create, and you can add people to those pages. And you can email that whole group. So let's go back to users, mailing lists. So if I wanted to email the Rally Day group, I could put them in there. And I could add the admins again, but because this is an admin, I wouldn't want to email the whole Rally Day group. So I'll take them out. I'll add Rob back, and I'll hit Save. So now our web admins have a mailing list for themselves. So if I wanted to create a mailing list with another mailing list in it, I could say, I'll say people and admins. I'll hit create, then I can click on there, and now I can add random people, but then I can also go down to the bottom, and you'll see that there's this little envelope one, and that's adding the web admin's mailing list. So I created a mailing list up here, and I can add it to multiple other mailing lists. So I'll hit save there. And you can email multiple lists at once. So if I clicked on both of these and hit email, then both of them would pop into my email client. So I'd be able to send one email out to both of the different lists. There's lots of different opportunities for lists and ways to save time when mailing people by adding them into these lists rather than trying to think of everyone that's in a group every time you need to email them. You can just add them to the mailing list and create easier ways to send them notifications and things like that. So next, let's go over to the membership directory. So we'll exit out of here. And this is being pulled from your Church360 members or Shepherd staff database onto your website. So you can add this to anywhere in your menu hierarchy here. Here it is right here. You can move it around and put it where you want. I have it right now in About Us, so I'll leave it there. So when you come over here to your home page and your menu, you go under About Us and click on Members. And now this will pull in all of the people's information from your church. You can only access this if you have a login to the website. So you have to be a member to access this information because some of it could be sensitive information such as addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, kids' names, people's ages, all those kind of things that you wouldn't just want anyone to be able to access, but are helpful things for congregations to be able to have and look up and those sort of things. You can click on a household name such as Abbott. So I'll click on that name, and then it shows me everyone that's in that household and all of their information. And you can edit the household and change the different things about them. Like if they have an email address for their whole family, you could change that here. You could move around if Jacob was ahead of Lacey, but he's younger. You could shift him down there. You can add in phone numbers, change the address here. And this is helpful because it allows users to change their information rather than calling into the church secretary every time. If they move, for instance, they wouldn't have to call in and say, hey, we moved, can you update our address? They could just go in here and do it themselves, then hit Update Household. And the secretary would still have a way of knowing that that happened by going to this activity area here. And under event log, it'll show you all of the things that have changed. So if someone changes their profile, their address or anything like that, it would appear in here. So you have a list of all the things that have changed on your website. You can also click on individuals here. So we'll click on Dave Abbott. And you can view their information and see what groups they're part of. He's part of the Church Picnic Planning Committee and the Bible Study Called to Vote. You can see you can change their picture. You can see their recent activity and things like that. Over here, again, their groups. You can edit the profile. So if maybe your whole house didn't change, but you got a new email address and you wanted them to stop emailing this one or your work address, you could change it here. You can add in a phone number or anything like that. So there's lots of cool ways to update your profiles and keep your church secretary from having to do all of that work herself. And all of this information, when you update it here, it will backflow to your church management software like Church360 Unite, or excuse me, Church360 members or Shepherd staff. So when you update it here, it also updates it over there. So that's kind of handy way of keeping it backflowing. And again, if you wanted to see all that information and what changed, it would be under activity and event log. So you would see it right here. So your site kind of becomes a hub for your members to get on and show people what's changing in their lives and allow people to access that information to know how do I find this person, how do I call them, all that sort of stuff. So that's the basics of the users, the mailing lists, and the directory. So now we're going to open up for questions. So if you have any questions, now is the time to ask them. Let me know if there's anything that didn't make sense to you, or if I could answer for you. We also have product updates that come out pretty regularly. If you want to access those updates, they tell you things like when we have a new feature come out, it'll send you a blog update with how to use that feature and what it does. You can subscribe to that by going to 360unite.com/blog. Let me check the questions here. So the question here is, so a publisher can edit only content on certain pages or all pages. A publisher is able to update content on all of the pages. So here, let me log in as a publisher. You won't be able to do this from yours. This is just something we have here at CPH. So let me log in, and you'll see that up here the menu, the admin menu changed. There's only 3 of them now rather than the 6. So publishers are able to go in to pages and they can move them around and change the order of the menu and things like that. They can add a new page. They can create groups and things like that. So if I exit out of there and go to the What We Believe page, you can see that they're able to edit the pages. So if you hit the Edit Page button here, they can go in and type some more or change whatever it says. So yes, they're able to change all of that kind of stuff. I have another question here. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay, the question is there a way to just have a page or a password for a page to open so we don't have to add people with their email to access? Yes, that's what groups are. So you can set groups to either be public or you can set them to private. And let me log back in as the administrator to show you how that works. And we'll be talking more about groups. I think we have a webinar next week where we'll be talking about those. So if you're able to make it for that webinar, that would be a good one to come to. But just a quick look at it. We have a Rally Day group here. I'll go to that one. And you can change the settings here. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Wow, edit this group. That's what you would do. And you can change your settings here to see what pages in this group are visible to everyone. You can set them to public. You can set them to unite users only, to group members only, so only people that are in this group already, to only group leaders, or you can hide it. So yes, you are able to create pages that only certain people are able to view with a password. Good question. Any other questions that I can answer for you? Is there anything that I said that doesn't make sense or that you need some clarification on? Feel free to ask those real quick. You have my contact information up here. You can email me or call me anytime if you have any questions that you can't think of right now, but that come up later on. Something's stumping you, feel free to send me an email or give me a call. You can also email our support team or give them a call. They're extremely knowledgeable about all of our software. They could answer anything that you throw at them. So feel free to call them anytime, and they'll walk you through how to do it all. And they can even show you on your computer. They have software that can log in and do it for you. So give them a call or give me a call or send us an email and let us know your questions anytime you have them. Give just another minute here for questions if anyone has anything. Again, here's the website for the blog updates. Whenever we have a new feature come out, this is where you'll get it. You'll learn about it at least. So go to 360unite.com/blog. You'll get all the information on our new products that are coming out. Again, here's our contact information. I think we're all set with questions. If someone thinks of anything later on, feel free to send me an email and I'll respond to that and try to find those answers for you. But thank you for coming to the webinar. I hope you were able to learn how to use these different tools to better your experience on Church 360 Unite. So thank you for coming, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.